How you doing? I'm Charlie Anteby. I'm Charlie in the Morning Show. How's everybody going on? 7-1. 7-1-2022. It's Friday, the 1st of July. Summer's getting into full swing here. We're going into July 4th weekend. I guess Saturday is the 2nd, Sunday is the 3rd, Monday is the 4th. We got all kinds of topics we could talk about. I mean, I could say offhand, don't do fireworks. It could blow your fingers off your hands. It could be dangerous. You don't want to do that. Number two, it's disturbing to the neighbors. It's very noisy. Number three, it's against the law. Leave it to the professionals. Thank you. Have a good day. That's number one. We got some cockroaches around here where I live. They don't stop with the freaking fireworks. That's what happens. That's what happens. You get a lot of gavons coming in the summertime that we don't have here in the winter, and they affect the quality of life. What I do want to talk about is a more serious topic over here, and that is the topic of senior citizens and the responsibility that their loved ones have, because senior citizens can easily be taken advantage of. They call it senior abuse, but if you think about senior abuse, what are you thinking about? You're thinking about somebody in an old age home and they're not changing the sheets, they're not changing the bedding, they're getting bed sores, they don't feel good, nobody's taking care of them, the help is abusive. There's been cases, there's been people caught on camera, there's been lack of air conditioning, there's been senior citizens die of heat exhaustion, and that is terrible and awful, should never happen, and God forbid to anybody we know, especially, and to ourselves. But there's a different form of senior abuse, and that is the senior abuse of financial abuse, people being scammed. We hear about these things coming out of Nigeria and all these countries, and people fall for them. And then there's phone calls. Yeah, I'm going to send my driver now to pick it up. Your nephew's in jail in Canada. Who the hell knows what these people tell you? They figure out every scam in the book to try and get money out of older people. And older people need to be warned that these phone calls are coming, that these scamsters are coming, that these envelopes are going to come in the mail, that they can't click on emails. They need to be warned. Additionally, we think that it's romance when you have one of these people in Hollywood, these actresses, Anna Nicole Smith and the 83-year-old guy, and that's cute, and she inherited all his money, and the family's pissed off, and they go sue her, and so on and so forth. These are not cute things, and these are not funny, and these are not by choice. This is complete abuse of senior citizens by people who are taking advantage of them. And it goes both ways. There's young men taking advantage of older women and widows, and there's young women certainly taking advantage of older men, people that are alone, people that are divorced, people that are widowed, people that live alone. And I believe that this is not on the radar. This is not taken seriously. This is not observed carefully. I believe we need to be aware of the dangers of these issues and how they could be coming up, how they could be already in existence in people's lives. And sometimes it could be someone pretty close in age. It doesn't have to be a 25-year-old Hollywood actress and an 89-year-old guy. It could be a 50-year-old girl and a 70-year-old guy. And if she has that devious way about her, or if there's a guy with a devious way about him, they're going to take advantage of an older person who's already vulnerable, already impacted by loneliness, already their judgment is compromised. And things happen, and they get swindled out of their money. They get swindled out of who knows what they get swindled out of. they get taken advantage of, and it's a form of abuse. And if we're not aware of it, the rabbis are not aware of it, there's no tracking this. It's happening in closed doors, in four walls, and there's no catching it, there's no tracking it unless you really have a radar for it. And I'm talking straight here, and I'm talking to all of us. It could be the neighbor, the gardener, the neighbor for sure, it could be the neighbor. That you have an elderly uncle and the guy has a few bucks to his name, and you think he's living in a nice neighborhood, and the next door neighbor, somehow the wife is cleaning the guy out slowly with stories about ailments and sicknesses and medical care and requirements, and this isn't covered and that's not covered, and this is going on. This is going on. And when you try and intervene and say, Uncle, what's happening? How's things with your funds? Oh, what are you talking about? Don't ask me nothing. I don't talk about that. You know what I mean? And A, he's saying it to protect himself because he don't trust you. And B, he's saying it to protect himself because he don't want you to know he's getting scammed. And I'm talking about this. I'm talking about it. In every which way. Sometimes there's no money to scam. It doesn't matter. Someone's getting abused, emotionally abused. And that's a very serious issue. And we got to know that the same way when you're with the young kids and you tell them, anybody tells you something funny, you tell me, you come to me. And if they tell you don't tell anybody, you definitely come to me. And don't worry, because I'm going to take care of it. And you don't have to be scared whatever they tell you. The same thing on the senior citizen. That's with the young kids and the senior citizens. It's the same thing on the senior side. You have to talk to them, build the trust, keep the communication from an early period so that it carries on into an older period. Because somebody could be convinced that the only person who cares about them is the person who's taking advantage of them. And they could feel that isolated. And then they have nowhere to turn. And I'm talking in vagaries, and if vagaries is even a freaking word, but I'm trying to get a message across to the best of my limited ability so that the listener could hear what I'm saying, review it with each other as a family, as a couple, about your parents, about your elderly parents, about your grandparents. Take it in, consider it, see if there's action that could potentially be required. Keep a very close eye on your older folks. And I don't mean intrude on them. Don't expect they're okay. They need visits, whether they're getting scammed or not. They need you to pass by with meals. They need companionship. They need you to get them out of the house. You need to provide them with activity. You need to make sure people are kept busy. We can't get too busy for the people in our lives that we have love for and obligation to. I'm already at 9 minutes. I'm going to cut it short. I want to wish everybody a happy July 4th weekend. I am sorry for the seriousness of this topic and the shocking nature of it. But things do go on, and I want everybody to be aware. Thank you.